What's up, Raider Nation? You are on the Runnin Raiders Report, and I am your host, Brandon Steele. Thank you for clicking on the video. This is episode 1 of the Runnin Raiders Report, many more to go. It's the off-season version. What this episode is Mock Draft 1.0. A lot of research went into this mock. I think it is a very realistic mock, also with some things that I would want to see the Raiders do come draft day right here in Vegas. It's going to be a very, very exciting event. This video is kind of a part of a trilogy. The next video coming out will be what we need in free agency. As of today, March 9th, we've cut Tyre Whitehead. We literally have no linebackers at the linebacking position outside of Markel Lee right now. So the free agency video is a must watch. And then after that, I'll have another mock because things might change in my mock depending on what we do in free agency. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Round 1, pick number 12. The Raiders are now on the clock. We're sitting here. I'm down on the Vegas Strip. I got a lot of things going through my head. And in this mock, this is who I think the Raiders should be picking. The pick is in. You got to go CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver from Oklahoma. We need a number 1, and we're going to get a number 1. Now, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of worries from other Raider pages, from other analysts around the NFL that think, oh, Lamb's going to go number 8 to the Arizona Cardinals. Well, I understand he played with Kyler Murray in college, but in the NFL, it's more of a bigger picture, and they need to get one of those top 4 offensive linemen that are in this draft because this is a very weak draft at the offensive line position. They have to keep little man upright. That's the only way that they can get better as a football team is protecting Kyler Murray better. So I think they skip out on Lamb. Then there's more fear. Oh, the Jets are going to take Lamb. He's a Jet. Listen, the Jets are in the same position. There's not a lot of good offensive linemen in this draft. They have to get one of the best available to give Bell more running room, to give Darnold more time to throw. They have free agent money. They got to pay a wide receiver, but it starts with getting the best linemen that they can. So if all that comes true, which I feel pretty confident that that's what is going to happen on draft day, Lamb and Jerry Jeudy should be there at the 12th pick in this 2020 draft, and I say go Lamb all the way. For a while, when I was working on my mock, I had thought maybe Jerry Jeudy would be the better option, because maybe he would fit our system a little bit better. You see how he busts the screens wide open. We're a heavy screen offense sometimes. A lot of the time, actually, on third downs, we like to run bubbles to Renfro. We had Zay Jones, but we didn't throw him a lot of screens last year. Maybe he gets more involved. So I'm watching a lot of the Jerry Jeudy tape. I go, wow, he can really take screens a long way. I can see that in our offense. And then he's also able to take the top off. Well, CeeDee Lamb can do the same thing, and he's a purebred number 1 wide receiver. One of the things, or not a problem, but one of the concerns I have if we were to take Jerry Jeudy is he comes from the best wide receiving core in the entire nation. Alabama, they had Waddle, they had Smith, they have Ruggs, who a lot of people want us to take at 12. He's not a pure number 1. Jeudy was the one from that system, but he got moved around so much. And bear with me, Saban was able to move Jeudy around due to his other talents, Smith and Waddle and Henry Ruggs. We're not in the position to move him around and make him better right now. Our number 1 receiving target last year was our tight end, Darren Waller. We did not have a reliable target. We did not have a number 1 wide receiver. You know this. So it's time for us to go get that number 1. That can be a number 1 at the NFL level. That is CeeDee Lamb. Just look at the snaps here. Outside snaps, playing out wide. 493 times last year for CeeDee Lamb, 660 times the year before that for CeeDee Lamb, and 652 times as a true freshman. He came in as the purebred 1. He plays like a purebred 1. He attacks the football. A lot of people are worried about his 40 time. I'm not, because he attacks the ball. He's got great balance. He made 38 tacklers miss last year. He broke 38 tackles. He's got great balance. He's elusive. And then I look at, well, can he play the short game, the West Coast style? Can he bust a screen? He had 11 screen catches last year for 120 yards, and 3 of those were touchdowns. That's absolutely outstanding. You got to turn on the film of CeeDee Lamb, and you see in the Kansas State game, he He took a screen, he took it all the way. I think it was about 62 yards. It was absolutely insane. He hurdled a player, made a guy miss. The game against Texas, catching, tiptoeing on the sidelines. He makes big plays. He has that DeAndre Hopkins vibe. But more than that, he has a Raider vibe. He is the game breaker. He is exactly what we need. The free agency is really dry at wide receiver. And I am against getting Emmanuel Sanders. I'm against getting A.J. Green. They're old. We want young. We want new. We got a brand new home here in Vegas. Let's go get our guy. The last thing that eases me when I compare Jeudy to Lamb is the drops. Lamb was targeted 88 times last year, and he made a lot of outstanding catches. He only dropped 3 balls. Jerry Jeudy, he dropped 7 balls. A lot of people that are not on Judy's train kind of remind him of Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper holds a lot of Alabama records. Jerry Jeudy came close to breaking a few of them. And Jerry Jeudy will be a legitimate wide receiver in the NFL. I just think coming to Vegas, coming to our offense right now, we don't have enough to give him that type of production right away. We need an instant starter. We need a guy who is instantly a game breaker. That's CeeDee Lamb. So following up the 12th pick, we go to 19. We got 2 picks in the first round. If we decide to keep both of them, there's a lot of rumors that since we don't have a second, maybe Mr. Mayock wants to do something with one of the round 1 picks. Who knows? But as of now, we have the 19th pick. And with that pick, the Vegas Raiders in this mock, they go Patrick Queen from LSU. As of today, we have absolutely no linebackers on our roster. We have Markel Lee, but that is not really much to build around. He's a depth player. We don't have a starter. And I think who better to get at 19 than Patrick Queen, who's barely 21 years old. He's explosive, he's hard-hitting, and he can cover. We play in the AFC West. Travis Kelce, a healthy Hunter Henry sometimes, and now Noah Fant, who really came on for the Denver Broncos at the end of the year. We have to have a fast linebacking core that can cover these guys. And I think Patrick Queen is that guy. He had an amazing stat where he only allowed just half a yard per coverage and snap in his first full season at LSU. He plays in the SEC, so he already dealt with Alabama. He had an interception off of Tua. He's seen some of the best wide receiving talent in all the nation coming out of the SEC. So Queen has the ability to cover. He's done it well in college. I think he can come in and do it very well from us. Now, here's the thing about Queen. He's very raw. Like I said, he's not even 21 years old yet, but he needs to be guided. I think Queen is the perfect pick for him to come in and work with our strength and conditioning people, because the knock on Queen right now is he hasn't filled his frame. They said the same thing about Max Crosby. Reading over Mac's scouting report, they didn't think he would fill out his frame in his first season, maybe in his second. Our strength and conditioning people took really good care of that. Max put on a ton of muscle, and he had a great, outstanding rookie season. I think we can do the same thing with a guy like Patrick Queen, who is fast, he's hard-hitting, and he's a great cover linebacker. I think that would be absolutely perfect for us. Another thing that I love about Patrick Queen, when you turn on his tape, he's got great lateral movement, and he's great on the goal line. He's great at stopping the run on the goal line. Turn on the film against the Texas Longhorns in that game. He had back-to-back stops. They're trying to run down the one. He stopped them both. He's great laterally. I think Queen, he'd fit into our defense well. He'd be a guy to build around and add some depth. So after Queen, we take a break because we don't have a second-round pick as of now. We might come draft day. I'm not quite sure. I like where we are. I like having the 2 1s. Hopefully we have a good free agency. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. But if we have a draft where it's the 2 1s, no 2, that's okay, because we have back-to-back 3s. We start with round 3, pick 80. I'm going back to wide receiver. John Hightower from Boise State. I think this pick is a steal. He can come in very, very dangerous for our teams, have more position than wide receiver. He had a total of 623 yards off of punts. He had 1 kick return taken back last year. He has field flipping ability on special teams. We haven't had that since Jacoby Ford. Dwayne Harris, he had the 1 big spectacular play in the Monday Nighter Week 16 Christmas Eve against Denver, but we have not had a legitimate special teams player. I wouldn't draft John Hightower because of how good he is on special teams. I would because he had 8 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards last year at Boise State. Granted, He did not play really good press coverage in the Mountain West, but that's fine. If we were to draft CeeDee Lamb, have Tyrell Williams, we still have our great tight end triplets, Carrier, Foster, and Waller, Renfro. You can slide in Hightower as a depth player, as a slot player, because he's able to take screens a long way. He's able to be a gadget on end arounds, and we can throw him on special teams if need be. He reminds me a lot of the idea that we had for J.J. Nelson that just didn't pan out. I thought J.J. Nelson would have panned out for us, but he didn't. I thought he was going to be our gadget guy and our good kick returner that takes the top off. We didn't keep him for very long. I think John Hightower can fill a void that we need at wide receiver. We need depth and we need absolute game breakers. So far in the mock, Lamb, Queen, and then Hightower to address more depth at wideout. Following up is the 81st pick in the draft. Back-to-back round 3 picks. I'm taking Jordan Brooks from Texas Tech. He's a linebacker. And I'm sure you may be thinking, we already went wide out, we already went linebacker in round 1. You really want to double it up. Yeah, I want to double it up because, like I said earlier, we got no goddamn linebackers on our team. We cut Tyre Whitehead, we got Markel Lee, so we need to make a splash in free agency, and we got to draft really good guys. Jordan Brooks is a grade A run stopper. He had 86 tackles last year, 20 of them were for a loss, and he had 46 total pressures on quarterbacks last year for Texas Tech. He's already been a Red Raider. Now it's time for him to be a real Raider out here in Vegas. He had 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He hits really hard. He's just real stout. He's got a strong build to him. He should be there in the 3rd round. If he's there and we don't take him, Mayock's got something else up his sleeve. I did a lot of research in this mock draft. I really like Jordan Brooks. I think it would be a cool start to rebuild our linebacking core by drafting Queen and then following it up with Brooks. Brooks is more of a hard hitter, more of a run stopper. Gunther can put him in a lot of blitz packages. He's able to stand on the line. He's able to be off the ball. He does a lot of things very well. And then if we're able to draft Queen, you have a coverage guy and also a guy that is willing to learn a lot when it comes to run stop and getting more formed with his tackling. So I like that pick a lot. Now, round 3, to end the 3 picks in round 3, the trio, I got Noah Igbinoghene. Iggy for short. You might have heard of him, you might not. He's a corner from Auburn. What he brings to our team is speed and physicality if we're able to draft this cat. He allowed 35 catches off of only 68 passes. That's okay. This cornerback class is not very strong. The best corners are going to go in round 1. So I think we got to go depth here and get one of the best in round 3 at pick 91, and that's going to be Igbinoghene, Iggy for short. He's super physical. He plays like a Raider. He plays like Jonathan Abrams. He hits hard. He is a burner as well. He ran a 4.4 at the combine. He's super raw. We can use a lot of his abilities on our roster. We have a lot of needs at corner. I really want to let Worley go. Mullen is our number 1 right now, but he needs a veteran beside him. Hopefully we can pull that off in free agency. I look at getting a player like Iggy from Auburn in round 3 as a depth guy who hits very hard, forces fumbles, and has great speed to catch up to a lot of the burners that we play in the NFL these days. There's so much speed that we lack on defense. We even lack it on offense a little bit, so we need to fix those problems. I like that pick at 91. Noah Igbinoghene. It took me forever to get the name right. I still might butcher it. But Iggy for short from Auburn. Check the film. Super physical, hard hitter. I would love the pick right there. Round 3, pick 91. Then we go into round 4. Pick 121. Matt Parrott, right tackle from UConn. I'm a firm believer of building from the ball out. We have a good offensive line right now, but you have to be prepared for injuries. Now, bear with me right here. I know a lot of people might be watching this. They're like, oh man, we need more wideouts, we need more linebackers, blah, blah. We have to be prepared for injuries to our best players. One of our best players is Trent Brown, okay? He got hurt with the pectoral injury, and then we had David Sharp come in. Sharp instantly gave up 20 hurries, instantly gave up 3 sacks. he was awful. It just didn't work. He's been on the team for 4 years. We drafted him from, I believe he's from North Texas or AT&T something, the Aggies, I believe. It didn't work out for us. It really didn't work out for us. He's not a good backup. I think bringing in a 6'7" Matt Parrott, 303 pounds. He's light on his feet. He can move. He played 774 snaps last year at right tackle. He only gave up 2 sacks. He's legit. He should be there in round 4, pick 121. Have him come in and learn under Trent Brown. Have him come in and light a fire under David Sharp's ass. So if Trent Brown gets hurt and Sharp's ready to come in and back up, he knows that there's someone there waiting on his spot. I think that would work out very perfectly for us if we were able to add more depth at right tackle. Because eventually we're going to need to add depth at center when Hudson's ready to retire or maybe touch free agent market. Huddy, great center, Pro Bowler, All-Pro. Trent Brown, he has potential to do the same thing for us. But if he gets hurt, we need to address that with depth. I think Matt Parrott from UConn would be a great pick. Round 5 now. Our secondary has problems. I like Tanner Muse. Another Clemson boy comes to the Raiders, comes to Vegas. Tanner Muse, he had a total of 8 interceptions in his entire career at Clemson. That number doesn't really jump off the page for a lot of you people. I understand that. That's fine. He had 4 last year, but when you turn on his film, it's all effort. He's a hard hitter. He runs fast. He had 38 solo tackles last year, and he gives the Raiders depth. And you don't necessarily want to pay a veteran for depth right now when we can draft Tanner Muse or any other one of the safeties. I like the idea a lot of picking up Tanner Muse. His efforts take him above and beyond. He can be a late gem for us or somebody else. To round out this draft, round 7, pick 227, I think go interior defense here, defensive tackle. Roquan Williams from Michigan State. Not the best player. He should be there in round 7. We don't have a 6th-round pick right now. That could change with Mr. Mayock at the controls. But round 7, I think Roquan Williams should be there. He's an interior defensive tackle. 7 sacks last year. He can come in on rotation. Our best interior lineman is Mo Hurst. He's a freak. We're working well with Mo Hurst. If he stays healthy, we like that a lot. But I'll talk about it in the next video, the free agency video. We need to get someone across from Mo Hurst to partner up with. I think Roquan Williams can be a depth guy. If we did draft him or anyone else at this position, interior defensive line at round 7, you know, they have to really make a name for themselves in preseason. I think this guy could do something like that, be a rotational player, and really light the fire under some of the asses of the other interior defense linemen. So, thank you for watching. That is the Runnin' Raiders mock 1.0, excuse me. Very excited to have done that. I'll follow it up with another mock after the free agency video. Thank you for watching. Go Raiders. Just win, baby.